think you need to hit the Southland sign.
The camera adds 35 pounds, right?
I took 5 swings and my ball traveled 7 total feet. All right, today we're back, another round of Fungo golf. This time we got Clayton VanderLaan of HBU. What do you look for in recruits?
I love
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good one. Total, we got 4 holes, par 12. Let's get it.
Oh, good start.
Ball flies here. Glad I didn't
not
pitch
good
it.
for pitchers. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Almost a hole-in-one contender.
oh.
Oh, yeah.
That counts, baby.
Can we cut that?
Oh no, baby. We're gonna just keep it rolling.
we're cutting
that
that.
counts.
No.
That counts.
We're cutting that.
You saw my hit the other day. Is that a hole in 2?
mean,
Give me a hole in 2.
It might be a hole in 2.
that's like banking a 3-pointer.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
Like you gotta call the ground ball the whole way there.
Oh my. Amateur.
No, it's a pro shot. I wanted to make y'all feel good.
All right, kind of was a pro shot. We'll give it to you.
I'm not wearing this all black because I'm fat.
You're coach.
Because I heard the camera adds 35 pounds, right? So if I look fat on this thing, it's because of the camera.
It is. That's what it is. It's the camera.
What high school did you go to?
Fly Ranch.
I was Cy Ridge.
Let's go. I saw that.
Yeah. Ranch wasn't even open when I was in high school, so
What year did you graduate?
2008.
Well, 1 year difference. You're young, coach.
Oh man, 32. 2 kids. I don't feel too young.
Hey, life only gets better. It's like fine wine.
Telling me. 2
All right.
kids, the best thing ever happened to me.
Love that. What are their names, by the way, before the show?
Stella and Hattie.
All right.
Stella Ryan and Hattie Ruth.
Easy money.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a factor. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
What a beautiful shot. You got a little trapezoid up on top of the net on the dugout over there.
Right over the dugout.
Going for a hole in 1 right here. They said it's impossible, but we're gonna go for it. So guess we'll see.
All right.
No, I'll take that though. That's right up against the dugout.
Oh no.
Oh,
That'll be all right.
that'll be all right. That's a nice
Grounders.
roll.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Take it for a ride one time. Beautiful.
All right, I guess I'm farthest.
Where you at?
Right here. Here's me.
Oh, that's
Coach
perfect.
Vandy.
That's
Parker's in the hose.
Don't sail it and don't undershoot. You gotta. That's what you didn't want. Terrible. Oh wow. That's rough. Oh, you're still sitting over here, pal. You gotta get it up there. Yeah, you get it backside. Oh, that's a sail.
Wait, this might actually be decent.
Oh no.
Y'all struggling over here. I'm just gonna.
Right here into the dugout. How you feeling?
Feeling great.
your
Had a
home
whiff
field?
off the bat, but I really made up for it. Got that hole in 2 on the Clodgy Factory. Another hole in 2 here. Feeling really good about myself today.
Sometimes you hate baseball, and that's one of those days for me.
There you go.
+1,
Yep.
+2,
-2.
-2. All right, I hope you hit the foul
Going
pole.
over to the Southland champions. We're gonna get ourselves one in a couple years.
This year.
This year, within the next couple years.
Great confidence in our program, Parker.
Within.
All right. You got a tough angle.
That's tough
rough,
right
rough
there.
angle, rough angle.
Coach Vandy. Little tail.
Oh, that'll be not a bad shot at all.
Oh, what a roll.
Bounce.
All right.
That's it. Still got your ball. I know you hit it a whole bunch of times.
I took 5 swings, and my ball traveled 7 total feet.
You're gonna whiff this one too. How does it feel?
Hit it over the fence.
Oh, wow. That is a rough day.
This is my worst performance.
I by far.
Hey, playing it safe in the fairway, playing it safe.
I just pull apart here.
Yeah, I think you need to go for the 2 right here. I don't think you're skilled enough to do that though.
I think I need to do a trick shot.
You're not playing the regular bat though.
Yeah.
I think you need to hit the Southland sign.
We're having a little fun.
We are?
Y'all are having a lot more fun on this course. I'm sorry about the...
This is my typical day of golf. My Fungo golf.
We have 0 feet on the ball.
Yep, with this.
See what we got on the bat. That's rough. Rough day.
47 feet on the bat.
That is a rough day.
0.47 inches on the ball.
It's okay. We're trying out a Fungo this time. This
Coach Vandy personalized.
shout out to Victus.
This is
That's why I'm playing so great.
Beautiful.
There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
All right.
There.
That'll work. Beautiful.
I don't even know my score. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Risk, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Let's see it. Oh.
Should have taken risk. Parker, don't take a risk in life.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Wow.
I'm babe.
I didn't even get it. He hit it though.
I'm nasty with it.
Finally. There we go.
Beautiful.
All right, last hole.
Yep.
Where are we teeing off from? The local Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
Going into the turtle back pad. Should be a nice and easy shot. We'll see. I'll take that. That should stop right perfect.
Yeah, that's gonna be all right.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
Don Daly let me hear this.
Oh.
Yes, what a shot.
You got some power on that one.
Yeah, hooky. A little hooky.
Look at that. It's not bad at all. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. Just off. Look at that. Too much? Give her a tap in. That'll work. Oh, yes. That's beautiful.
Like ping pong, baby. Should have trick shotted it. Good game, Parker. Just had a great game of Fungo golf. Well, not great for me, but
Me, really.
Coach VanderLaan showed up to play, but Parker is a very good Fungo golf player himself, and it was a good round out there today.
It was.
But today we got Coach Clayton VanderLaan here at HBU, former UST head coach when they brought the program back, and had some of the best jerseys around. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but glad to have you on. Thanks for joining us today.
Much, man. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
First thing I want to ask you, what's it been like at HBU with Berkman, the transition from UST over here? Obviously, you brought Berkman on?
At UST, yes.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah. So I mean, it's been great. You know, with bringing Lance on at UST, obviously, kind of made a splash a little bit in the Division III world. You know, turned out great for me. It was a great guy to kind of hitch my wagon to, right? But no, I mean, you know, the one thing when we brought Lance on is I knew that it wasn't just from the baseball aspect, the hitting side of things. It was actually, he's just such a good human being, and you know, I don't think a lot of people maybe don't even realize that about him, just how good of a guy he actually is. So, you know, once that staff kind of had its chemistry at UST, when Lance got offered this job, it was kind of stupid for us to even, you know, to break the band up, so to say. So when he got this job, we were all like, it's a no-brainer that we're coming together.
well, it's awesome to have you over here now in Texas College baseball at the D1 level. Was that a goal of yours to make it D1?
Yeah, you know, pretty quick there when you're playing, you figure out if you're gonna, you know, make it to the highest level as a player or as a coach. and pretty quick, I found out that mine was going to be as a coach and not as a player. You know, look, the reality is, being from Houston, you know, I think it's a dream of everybody to get into the Division I world in your hometown. And there's only so many of those jobs out there, right? So, you know, to find a situation where I could, you know, live out that dream of being a Division I coach and be, you know, with my family and my friends that I grew up with and around the people I grew up with. I mean, you know, God blessed me to the nth that I can't even imagine, you know? So
That's a pretty great story there, and I'm glad you guys all worked it out and stayed together close to home.
Yeah.
So back in your playing days, you were a Side Ridge guy.
Yeah.
Class of 2008. We just discussed that.
Yeah.
Ranch forever.
I can't hate on y'all. Y'all weren't around when I was there, so.
if you're any after, you can hate on us. But and then you went to Michigan State,
That's right.
where you were a Sparty.
That's right.
And then transferred to Cameron.
That's right.
So what were your playing days like in baseball back in the day?
Yeah, growing up in Houston and that Cy-Fair district, and it's still such a strong district, but back in kind of the early to mid 2000s, I mean, there was some really good baseball happening. You mentioned Robbie Grossman earlier. I mean, there was just some guys out of that district that were really good. So it was, it was almost like I was already playing Division I baseball in high school. And then, I went to Michigan State. My dad's from Michigan. A lot of my family's still in Michigan. I have a strong love for Michigan, even though I'm a Texas guy. But I grew up loving Michigan State. If I was being honest, it's probably the only place I really wanted to go. So when I got the offer, I mean, I jumped on it pretty quick. Some people thought I was crazy going to the north and the cold and everything.
I think you are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. My first Big Ten game I pitched in, it was our first one of the year. It was against Illinois at Illinois. We got snowed out on Friday, and then we came back on Saturday, and there was snow banked up against the walls, and we played a doubleheader, and everybody was in short sleeves or whatever, and I'm 10 layers deep. But so Michigan State, there was a lot of it, and this is something I try to impress on our young guys, our young freshmen. I was immature, 18-year-old kid, got in there, got the homesickness thing, which is dumb, I mean, but you can't help it. You grew up in Houston, and you're 1,200 miles away. And I love the coaching staff up there. Coach Boss, who's still there, he was a great coach. Actually, a lot of that staff, Coach Vandy, who's the pitching coach when I was there, is there currently. And so I wanted to get closer to home. And so I went to Cameron University, Division II school in Oklahoma. Fantastic school. I had a great experience there. Lone Star Conference, man, especially back then, was absolutely loaded. I mean, that was Abilene Christian was in there. Incarnate Word was in there. It was a conference.
Good time baseball.
Oh, man. And Angelo, they're still who they are. And
man.
I mean, West Texas A&M, bunch of bangers over there, so that, you talk about a hitter's conference. So probably one of the smartest decision on my point to go as a pitcher, but.
Well, led you here today.
That's right, yeah. And then after that, played a few years of indie ball.
Okay.
And played some college football mixed in there.
Yeah, tell them about your little experience in football. I'm new to this.
Right. So I played football in high school at Ridge and had a great experience and had the opportunity probably to go play both at a smaller college level. But I knew baseball was really more of my future. So when I was done playing baseball, I say done. I had a year left of indie ball, so I kind of went in the fall. I played at Graceland University, NAI in Iowa. Mm-hmm. Played football there. I was a fullback. And then in the spring went off to baseball. And then once the season was done in the summer, would come back to football. I just did that for kind of one cycle. But yeah, no, it was. I'll tell you what though, the thing I got out of it that was so great as a coach was learning how college football coaches practice planned.
Okay.
And that came in. I mean, man, that was such a valuable tool for me because when I became a head coach, I knew how those guys utilized rotation and multifaceted approach to get groups in and out of places, and I was really able to utilize the 2.5 hours you have to practice and get the most out of it.
Well, that's incredible. It's incredible that we have a former college football player as a Texas baseball coach here. So pretty incredible.
It was really cool.
So your coaching career before UST started at Saginaw Valley State.
Actually, started at St. Thomas High School.
St. Thomas High School.
St. Thomas High School here in Houston.
Under the other ST.
Yeah, that's right. Under which kind of helped me lead to the UST job down the road. It's funny how all those things kind of play in, but Coach Ryan Lusto is who I was his pitching coach, and I still say to this day probably the sharpest baseball mind I've ever been around. That guy, he was at Delgado Community College for 10 years as a recruiting coordinator. Him and his wife moved here to Houston, so he took that job and they moved here. So I was there for 3 seasons. We won a state championship my last year there, and then I went to Saginaw Valley State. Started as the pitching coach, ended up getting the head job. And then about a month after I got the head job there, the UST job, kind of came upon me, and here we are back in Houston, and then now we're at HBU.
Full circle, baby.
Yeah, that's right. No, 100%.
That's incredible. I got just another question for you, following up that. What an incredible story for a college coach, and he's actually a pretty young coach. He'll tell you otherwise, but he's got 2 kids, beautiful family, and
I do.
Quite the story. But what do you look for in recruits now that you're at a D1?
Yep.
What's the difference in looking for recruits here versus UST?
So, one, I have to say this up front. Coach Tyler Bremer is our recruiting coordinator, and he's an absolute stud. I mean, he is fantastic at what he does. I mean, some of the guys that we're able to get here at HBU, it's incredible. I mean, it's something, in the past that we weren't supposed to get those type of guys, but we are now. And I give Coach Bremer all the credit in the world for that. But, as far as me, I try to handle most of the pitching side of it, when I'm IDing guys, because being the pitching coach, obviously. For me, you can talk about the things like, look, I look for how the arm works. I look for projectability in the body. The reality is if we're recruiting younger guys, athletic and pitcherish actions, those are going to play when they're older, right? So you look for that kind of stuff. You look for the ability, can we manipulate the baseball with ease, or we're really trying to force throwing a breaking ball over versus just letting it happen. Those are the type of things you look
Absolutely.
for. And, of course, velo comes into play as they get older. You can't – the reality is Division I, you can't probably sign a senior that's throwing 85,
I'm a rare exception.
So rare exception. But that's not the end-all, be-all. Pitchability is huge, but – I look for demeanor.
Yeah.
And I know every coach, every good coach worth of salt is probably going to say that as well. Demeanor, the way he approaches the game. I love showing up early. I love seeing what these guys do down the left field line before the game. Are they engaged with their warm-up? Are they doing something thoughtful through their warm-ups? Or are they just out there flicking a couple, throwing some knuckleballs with their buddy, just screwing around? Or, are they actually going through a pre-throw routine? Are they, what kind of teammate are they? I like listening, sitting at the edge of the dugout when they don't realize I'm there. How are they talking to their teammates? Is it, you should have done this, you should have been here, or is it encouraging? Is it being a good teammate? That's
Definitely.
The stuff we look for.
And that's the stuff you can pick up when you go watch right away, too.
100%. You can look. The reality is you can see a lot on video. That's true, but you just don't get to know a kid and how they're going to fit into your culture. And I know culture is such a buzzword, but it is everything. It really is. And so, how this kid is going to fit into my culture here, it's so important to go get hands-on and go see him.
So, in short, not to discredit anything he says, get good grades, throw gas, be a guy, be the teammate, 100%. And play multiple sports.
Yes, please. Absolutely, yeah. I love multi-sport guys.
And it'll keep you healthy, too.
Oh, man.
If you can handle the workload then.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I tell Coach Bremer, our recruiting coordinator, this all the time. I say, I like football guys because they know how to practice. Football guys know the value of practice. Sometimes in our baseball world, you get to the summer, tournament. There's no practice involved, right? It's just tournament. Yeah. And then they get to college, and it's 90. People don't realize it's 90% practice, 10% play.
Yeah.
And so
it might be more than that.
Even more than that. No, you're right. So I like getting football guys, and of course basketball guys too, to a certain extent, but football guys that know how to practice and they know the value of practice. I think that's extremely important.
Well, that's incredible. I got 2 last questions for you. These are the fun ones.
All right.
Is Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Follow that up.
Okay.
Coach Berkman needs to be on the ballot.
Yes.
300-plus homers, switch hitter, absolute legend. And he's got some rings now.
Yeah. That one to me is almost more of a disappointment than the Bonds and Clemens thing. Falling off the first year. Lance, was very humble about the whole thing. We talked about it, and he's, it's disappointing, of course, but, it is what it is. You don't make those decisions yourself, but, yeah, it's an absolute shame that he's not.
Put those 3 in the Hall of Fame, please.
I agree.
And then lastly, Tex-Mex or barbecue? What do we got, Coach Vandy?
Tex-Mex.
Queso,
100%.
Queso, fajitas.
Anything that makes me fat, throw it on there.
All right. Well, that wraps up our interview today. Thank you, Coach VanderLaan, coming on, and let's go Huskies.
Absolutely.
Thank you.